written instructions as to what's to happen to that money, then the courts will see that that's the way it's done. If you don't have that and you have property, then there are laws that designate where it will go. Each state is a little bit different. Kansas has pretty good laws on that. They really do. Their laws on inheritance are pretty good, really. Some states are a mess. But when he died, he owned the bank. And that was in his estate, the money that he had, which was handled by a lawyer in St. Francis. And he was very good to keep us informed of what was going on with that money. But the will also decreed that the bank had to be sold. Well, selling a bank is quite a process. I didn't know that until this event happened. And when Edgar died, he was the president of the bank, or of the foundation, and I happened to be the vice president. You know what that meant. I was mixed up right in the middle of it. And selling a bank is not simple, and the lawyer, to his credit, kept us informed, and there were a few things that he asked our advice and help on. Not help, but that he needed to know the law, and it's just what we thought would be best for the foundation. And I just as well tell you, what do you suppose he left the foundation?
You?
How much?
600.
That was pretty much the figure I thought he might leave us. It was a little over $5 million. Now, there's more to this story. 3 or 4 years after he died, there was a woman that worked in the bank, and she had made a lot of money too. What do you suppose she left us?
About 600?
600? Well, that would have been fine.
2,000.
2,000.
And 20,000.
20,000. Anyone else want to guess?
$1 million?
$1 million? Okay, anyone else? A little over $5 million.
What?
This changed the foundation tremendously. It really did. And that is somewhat where we're at today. I say we. I'm not on the board of directors anymore. I don't have anything to do with it except serve on a few little committees that some of us people who have been on are asked to do. But that is basically how the foundation was formed. Now, we did find out after we had received the first large sum of money, that there's a federal regulation, and we are governed strictly by regulations, laws, and the Internal Revenue Service. That's the people that come out and they want your income tax. They are in charge of this, and they regulate foundations. But we found out that there was a regulation that said if you receive more than I believe it was 80% of your worth at the time of the inheritance, then you had to raise that much more money in the next 5 years, which means that we would have had to raise, I think it was 20%. We'd have had to raise another 20 million after the first one. We couldn't do that, no way. Then when we got the second one, it would have been double that. We couldn't do that. But there was a way around it. But to do that, you had to join another foundation which had assets, had money enough to cover that portion that you couldn't raise because of the, couldn't get because of the regulations. So after a few phone calls and some advice and looking around a little, we discovered a woman and instructed her, requested to call her and see what she could do. And she was a professor down at the law school in Lawrence, University of Kansas Law School, and that was her specialty, was trusts. So she advised us to contact a woman with the Kansas City Trust and Foundation. Trust and foundation. Sometimes the term is used interchangeably. Probably incorrect, but still it's done. But so she was contacted, or after she was contacted, we called down there and talked to this woman with the Kansas City Trust and asked her if there's any, I was talking to her and explained what we wanted done, what we had to do, and she says, I understand, says, we can help you. Well, as a result of that, we are now a member of the Kansas City Trust, but we have a lot of autonomy. You know what autonomy means? That means that we can decide a lot of the things. Some of the things we have to clear with them, but that's fine with us because we have contact down there with people that know trust from one end to the other. They can give us advice, and we can depend on it to be correct. And we've enjoyed being part of them, and they have been good to us. I'm still using that we, which is not so, they. Any questions? Have I confused you quite a little? A little bit. Well, ask some questions. I'll do my best.
How long were you president?
Pardon?
How long were you president of the committee?
Oh, what was that? Probably 4 or 5 years. 3 or 4, like that. And, you know, it's good that other people take those jobs too. However, in Mr. Robertson's case, it's great that he had it. Any more?
Can you tell us what some of the projects you worked on with the foundation were?
Well, of course, the big one was the dairy.
Uh-huh.
And that dairy took a lot of money. And the foundation did loan them some money. And they have repaid every dime that's been due. I mean, it's been a good investment for the foundation so far. And in order for them to raise the money they needed, they went to 3 different lenders and borrowed money, all under the auspices of one banker in Amarillo, Texas, who loaned them